Hey guys, Saiyan here, bringing you another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle video, and so today we are going to talk about the Saiyan Day celebration, the overall responses that you guys had as to whether or not we think this was a good celebration overall. I've seen a lot of mixed reviews based on a couple of different factors, and we are going to go through the comments on this and have a look and see what you guys think. So I'm going to scroll through as many of these as I can without the video being super long. There's quite a few replies, so we are just going to scroll down and have a look. So decent as can be. I mean, pretty vague, but yeah, I mean, decent is I guess a good enough word to describe it. We got our boy Miri here. The best short celebration I can remember. Hype unit, good content, can't ask for more than that. I put all my stones onto this banner rather than what I usually do this time of year, which is save for the anniversary. I mean, that is a good point, right? Like, remember, Saiyan Day for Global is one of those roadblocks before the anniversary where you really have to decide if you're gonna drop stones ahead of, you know, the anniversary that we already know, because it's already been on JP. We already know what all of the content is, we know what all of the units do, both the part 1 and part 2, we know about all the EZAs, all of that kind of stuff, and then Saiyan Day is kind of an unknown that comes up, and then you have to make a decision as a global player whether that's worth tapping into your anniversary fund. But I definitely would agree that when it comes to the main banner, the Goku and the Vegeta are really good. Majin Vegeta is still good. Broly is still good, now has a 200% lead. Like, the banner definitely was not terrible. God Goku, fantastic unit, and remember, above everything else that he does, he's also a straight up like 170 lead for pure and hybrid Saiyans, so definitely a very good unit to have. He is also giving a 200% leader skill to both of the anniversary LRs as well, so if you did manage to pull God Goku fairly easily and then you're going crazy on the anniversary, you've got another really powerful team that you can run them both on. So very good. Annie says worst paced celebration in the game's history. So I mean, that's cap, just straight up. Like, the pacing, I can definitely see people having issues with it. I'm not going to try and say that it had really good pacing, but we have definitely had celebrations in the past that have been terrible. There's been global filler celebrations that have had next to no content at all. So trying to say that this is the worst paced celebration ever, I definitely disagree. I think a lot of this comes from people were very disappointed that right at the start they dropped the banner with the new units, but then they didn't actually drop any new content straight away. I think they definitely should have dropped things like the Infinite Dragon Ball History stage, maybe even like an extra Super Battle Road stage, which I think, did JP get one and Global didn't? They should have dropped more stuff on day one with the new units. I definitely do agree with that, but I do quite like the fact that some of the events were spaced out a couple of days apart from each other, which I actually do think is a good idea going forward. Maybe it's just me as a content creator, you know, I don't want to have to release 20 videos in one day, but I like the idea of them releasing a few different events within a couple of days of each other, rather than them releasing like 10 different things on day one and then they don't do anything else for like a week or a week and a half, maybe even 2 weeks sometimes. So I think the pacing can be better in a lot of these celebrations, but whilst they maybe fumbled at the start, I don't think the pacing was the worst in the game's history. He says mid. Seriously though, it has good stuff, but it's way too spread out, and the EZAs being bad doesn't help. I think that is definitely true, right? The spread can be, like I said, people can not like the way it was spread. The EZAs, if like at least half of those EZAs had all been super top tier units that people want to run in all the different content, then, you know, that would have made that middle part of the celebration have a bit of extra hype for people, I think. Because if you get a bunch of EZAs that suck and you're never going to use them in a lot of the more difficult content, especially if you think about people that have them at like 55%, right? A lot of us are saying that they're terrible at Rainbow level 10 links. So if you're somebody that has those units at 55%, you pretty much have no use for them. So it's almost like they didn't release any content at all, because you can't use the EZAs for anything. And doing a 30 stage Extreme Z battle is boring, you know, it's not really engaging content. Like, it is content technically, but you know, not the most engaging content. So the EZAs in the middle being pretty bad definitely kind of hurt the middle of the celebration. I do agree with that for sure. AC says 7.5 out of 10, but the best one yet. See, this is something I do agree with, that I've seen a lot of people say. is even though you can absolutely have complaints about this Saiyan Day celebration, I feel like it probably has been the best one that we've had so far. And maybe that is just because God Goku is so good, right, and Vegeta, because I'm trying to think back over the last couple of years, but I think every Saiyan Day unit that has released, even if there has been a lot of people saying that they are good, and even people saying that maybe they're being a bit underrated, there's been a lot of people saying that they're not that great, right? There's been mixed opinions, right? Margin Vegeta, a lot of people, especially because he didn't really release with a super good Trunks unit to use, and it was only later when Vegeta and Trunks came out that he started to look a lot better. Broly, typical Broly complaints, right? Not a lot of teams, no big bad bosses. Bardock, like I thought AGL Bardock was pretty good on release. I've seen a lot of people that think he was mid on release. So, and then I think was the one before that, Physical Vegeta, who I think most people did like, although people weren't a huge fan even from the initial release of Goku and Frieza, those units that transformed every single turn. But for the most part over the years, the Saiyan Day units have kind of had mixed reactions, whereas I think most people unanimously agree that God Goku is just really, really good. So that is true. Felt like more of a joint celebration. Goku is a legit top 10 unit. Yeah, that's very good, obviously, because for global, like, God Goku is one of the best units in the game, because we don't have any of the anniversary units to, like, take spots above him. So the biggest gripe was the spread out of content. Week 1 there was nothing, then we got Easy A's, Infinite Dragon Ball History, Chain Battle and Burst Mode in 4 days. Could have been better. Yeah, exactly. All of these things, like I said, could have been spread out like a couple of days between each, and that would have made the spread of content across the celebration a little bit better. I hate this celebration for shafting me badly with God Goku. Yeah, I'm sure there's quite a few people out there that think that. My disappointment is immeasurable, my day is ruined. Yeah, I mean, you'll always get these kind of responses. I'm sure Dre is just memeing. I'm sure he's not, this isn't an actual serious reply, but it is funny that people will always say celebrations or units are bad because they don't pull them. But yeah, like I said, I think it's pretty unanimous that God Goku is super good. So shout out to Sora, new unit good, Easy A's not good for the most part, like not giving some of the first SSRs that people have grown to love usable Easy A's is kind of sad. Very true. Events, average Saiyan Day, I guess, not known for introducing any new cool stuff. I mean, this is true, right? Saiyan Day is not a celebration where we get like a new type of event, although I think they could have for the first time since its inception, right? This is the first Saiyan Day since the Red Zone has existed, right? Yeah, because last year Red Zone came out for the anniversary. I guess technically Red Zone was out on JP, but not global for the last Saiyan Day. But it would have been nice to get like a set of Red Zone stages or something like that maybe. But yeah, pretty typical overall content-wise for a Saiyan Day. Holden, overall I would say it was a very strong celebration. Would I have liked even more content and more premium Easy A's? Of course, but comparing it to the previous years, I would say it's a very great celebration where a lot of the units were top tier or very solid. I mean, this is definitely true, right? Like, even the Easy A's not being that great, some of them certainly are usable in the harder content. And like I say, God Goku and Vegeta making up for it. I mean, Vegeta being so good is a great change of pace, right? Because think about last year's Saiyan Day, the side banner unit was the STR, Goten and Trunks, who are like universally hated because they really were not very good. So definitely a step up in that regard. Would rather not have the Easy A's than get the super mid Easy A's we got, especially when one of them, the AGL Godku, would have been a major help for Blue Ken. They need to stop buffing the same 3 teams and screwing over the others, actually making the game less fun. Yeah, it is unfortunate because like a lot of people, I think I even worked that into the title of my AGL God Goku showcase, but a lot of people wanted that AGL God Goku to be really, really good because he was another piece for that Blue Ken, like Reps of Universe 7 team. And so him being a disappointment is definitely unfortunate for that team setup. How do I put this? It was decent, it wasn't bad, but it wasn't good. The 9 Easy A's made it better, and the fact that God Goku is a god helped as well, but yeah, decent. I don't know, because like the Easy A's, it's weird, the 9 Easy A's made it better. I mean, most of the Easy A's were bad. I would say overall it was good. Like Goku and Vegeta being good. I mean, the events that we got, even though they weren't anything groundbreaking, like a new Infinite Dragon Ball History, another Chain Battle, 2 Extreme Z battles, like I said, even though they're not the most thrilling content, there's quite a few things to do and like stones to get out of it. So I think overall it was good. 6.5 out of 10, decent celebration. I liked the new Dokkan Fest and Banner unit, STR Godku, LR Beerus and Whis, and Int Whis EZAs. I think those are the three main ones, right, that people actually like. STR Godku definitely is better than I originally thought when we saw the details. The LR Beerus and Whis EZA is very good, and then Int Whis is a very usable support unit. Parts I hated, not pulling a single featured in 450 stones. Yeah, that is unfortunate. AGL Godku and Tech Whis EZAs, very mid, and then Chain Battle. I mean, Chain Battle just is what it is nowadays, right? Like, I still hate it. I think it's an annoying, frustrating game mode, but you get decent rewards out of it. You get quite a few days to, you know, try out different setups and get a decent score. And, you know, getting good equips. They have upgraded the reward pool of equips for this one, so I have already gotten a few level 6, like bronze defense orbs, which are pretty good, so I guess, you know, Chain Battle is what it is. Content-wise, I enjoyed it. Personally, it was spaced out well enough, and not dumping everything day one was good. See, this is the thing, right? Again, I think that is good, right? Not just dropping everything on day one. Although I do agree, like I said previously, not having anything apart from the banner on day one, I think was a bit of a mistake. EZAs were alright, I guess. I mean, on average, sure. Some of them definitely were not alright. Headliner was worth the hype, true. Banner was good enough, although I didn't get him. Overall, solid 6.5. Yeah, the banner unit and the main unit being so good with such great animations and stuff, I think really helps overall. But so good, new content, Dokkan Fest. Both Godku and Vegeta are great. Satisfied with this celebration. Yep, that's fair. Honestly, probably the best one so far. Again, this is a sentiment that's been repeated, which I definitely do agree with. Probably the best Saiyan Day that we've had so far. Despite only being a 2-week celebration, I felt like there was a lot of content they dropped. Unpopular opinion, but I happen to like Chain Battle and Burst Mode. Adds a fun twist to the game. So that's the thing, we didn't mention Burst Mode yet. I do think Burst Mode is pretty fun. I put out my 2 videos yesterday doing the different missions, and I talked about it in that video that I think it is quite a cool mode that you can choose to make as difficult or as easy as you want, depending on whether you want to just try and set like a crazy high score for fun, or if you just want to get the minimum score to complete all the missions. It can be interesting to try out units in that event, like crank up all the modifiers and make it super hard, and then try out like your best team, even if it's not one of the ones for the missions, and see how well that team does. Like, I do think Burst Mode is kind of a cool addition, right? So not bad. Amazing celebration. Even if most of the EZAs suck, it's still better than them just being dead units in your box. You can still use them for things like Battlefield and Burst Mode, which will be helpful. Beerus and Whis are amazing, and the new units are both incredible. 10 out of 10. Well, there you go. I mean, that person does raise a good point here that, you know, not every unit, and I'm sure we would like it if that was the case, right? But every unit getting an EZA doesn't suddenly need to be a red zone god. Like, some of these units definitely can be very good units to use in things like Battlefield, which for some people, like, I still think the best method for Battlefield is just to make mono teams, and some people are going to be missing some of the better options, and some of these EZAs will definitely fill those slots, especially with some of the leader skills that they've got post EZA. So while some of them are not great for the red zone, some of them will be useful for the other events. Units like Tech Whis not being the best for the red zone, but very good in things like Super Battle Road, I think definitely can be useful. So there's the first 10 out of 10 that I've seen. I don't think I would give any celebration a 10 out of 10 just because that means literally perfect, right? Like, I'm one of those people, I would never give a game or a movie or anything a 10 out of 10 because that means nothing about it could be better, but it definitely was a good celebration. Love Saiyan Day, wish I pulled God Goku in 600 stones, but it's okay. 9 EZAs is crazy. Most of them were actually really good. I mean, it's interesting. I wonder if this person is like a newer or a free-to-play player, because to say most of them were actually really good, I don't think many people would agree with that. But I wish we got a new Battle of Gods red zone. That would have been pretty cool. Yeah, been fire. A new red zone, I think, would have been one thing they could have added that would have made this celebration really good. Like, imagine if, with the spacing of the content that we already had, even if they changed nothing else, imagine if they dropped a new set of red zone stages on day one, and then they could do like they did with previous celebrations, where you get the first maybe like 2 stages, then they drop another 2 like a few days later, and then they drop the last one around the same time as the EZAs. Maybe add submissions where you want to use characters that are like the ones getting EZAs. I think that could have made a really nice little extra like bit of spice to the celebration, right? But there you go. Good content overall, pretty decent banner, goated Saiyan Day character, didn't pull said character, so 0 out of 10. Fair. The agenda. Went harder on this ban than they did for the 8th anniversary. That is unfortunate. So, couldn't pull a copy of Goku to save my life. Yeah, I know a lot of people had some bad luck. Shout out to my boy Minato. Mega shafted. Got one copy of Goku in like, I think it's like 1700 stones now, and no Vegeta. Very unfortunate, but you know, that's what it is what it is with a gacha game, I guess. Decent celebration. I really enjoyed the hints and stuff leading up to the reveal of Goku. All the EZAs were nice, even though most of them aren't usable, and the content was spread out pretty good. I mean, this is what I was saying at the beginning, right? The spread overall, I don't think it was terrible. I just think the main mistake is that they didn't drop anything on day one, and I think that gave people a sour impression right from the start that's kind of carried through to the end. But I prefer the one from last year. It wasn't hype for me. So, and no wallpaper this year, because last year we got that Martian Vegeta wallpaper. It's a bit weird, I guess, that we didn't get one this year, but interesting. I'd be interested to know why this person doesn't think it was better than last year, because that seems to be the general opinion that it was. But I love doing the new strike events for failed Gotenks on Global. Oh wait, I'd have to double check actually. Is my JP open? Because is the Gotenks Super Strikes, were they actually listed under the events for Saiyan Day, or were they technically the tail end of like the Super 17 celebration? I'm not actually sure. Now, obviously I'm in two minds about the Gotenks Super Strikers, whether or not I think it is a shaft or not for Global, because first of all, from what I can tell from what people have been saying about them, they suck. And I know most people will say, oh, you know, we don't care if the units are actually good. We just wanted the event so we could get the extra stones. Yeah, I'm just looking on my JP. It is actually listed under the Saiyan Day events. So it is weird that Global didn't get them. Because I think last time they did a Super Strike EZA during a same time celebration, both versions got them. So I'm not sure why they didn't do it this time. But I guess, you know, most people, like I say, they just want the stones from the event. They don't actually care about the character. But the silver lining, I suppose, is that now they're probably going to drop those Gotenks ones during like the big gap in April or something like that. So those extra stones are still going to be coming, and I guess you'll just end up getting them before the anniversary instead, which for some people probably is preferable. But it's weird that they left them out. I'm not really sure why they would do that, but there you go. I thought that it was a mid-celebration despite me getting all the featured characters. I did not do the EZAs, and I did one round of lane battle, which is not my favourite thing to do. I mean, I'm not really sure. So they thought it was a mid-celebration, but they didn't do the EZAs, and they don't like chain battle. So I'm not really sure what about this says that the celebration was mid, but there you go. Oh yeah, Saiyan Day. Yeah, of course, I put a typo in the initial tweet because, you know, it is what it is. Pretty good for a 2-week celebration. EZA units could have been a bit better. New units are great both aesthetically and usage. Very true. Felt like it should. A special 2-week celebration. More content than a normal Dokkan Fest celebration. Higher caliber units. EZA should have been better. Need to have a couple of bangers in there. Yeah, I agree with that, right? Because especially for me, you guys know how upset I was with how bad the Vegeta and Bulma EZA was. But, you know, some of them are decent. My view is biased because I went 2,300 stones with no Goku. Oof. But the events should have been spread out. There's no reason Infinite Dragon Ball History shouldn't have dropped day one of the celebration. Yeah, I agree. Something should have dropped on day one for sure. I think it's overall good for a celebration. Good units with the Vegeta Trunks LR. I wanted to come back. Yeah, Saiyan Day being the return of the Tanabata LR is always good, right? Because even if you don't pull them, if you do a few summons, hopefully you've been saving your red coins for them if you didn't get them originally. Multiple ways to get stones or content in the game. I'm happy to enjoy the game regardless. I love the game. Well, there you go. And it's nice to see some positive outlooks. Like, it's one of those things, right? I try and find the best in most things, not just Dokkan, just in life in general. And there'll always be people on social media that accuse you of like sucking up to Katsuki or whatever. But like, I do like to see a bit of positivity, right? I think overall I would say it was a very, very good celebration. I'm going to leave it here. There's a few more comments, but we're getting close to like 20 minutes now. And I think that's a pretty good time for the video. If your comment didn't get shown in the video, or you just didn't see the tweet and you want to add your feedback, let me know down below in the comments of this video. What did you guys think of Saiyan Day overall? Was it a good celebration? Was it the best Saiyan Day celebration that we've had so far? Let me know all of that down below in the comment section. So that is going to be it for the video, guys. This has been the Masked Ningen. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Check out the links down below for the Discord and the merch store, and I will see you all again soon. Have a good one.